right, wonderful. So again, this meeting is going to be recorded. Students, please check your email. If you have questions during the meeting, the best way to submit them is through that Google form. If we can answer them, we will. If not, we'll send out a Q&A email later on with answers to popular questions. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to our student services team, Mr. Benton, Ms. Surzak, Ms. Legoff, Ms. Scalzo. You know them all, or you'll get to know them all. They have a few updates regarding PSATs and just some general reminders about student services. So take it away.
Yeah, okay, so this is Mr. Benton, not Mrs. Surzak, at her desk because we're having computer problems. So welcome, everyone. So yeah, I'll be brief because I know this is a quick meeting, and we will be doing a lot of follow-up via email to you and your parents, as well as coming into homerooms about a lot of what I'm going to talk about here. So I'll be brief, but quickly we'll start just with seniors. Okay, we know post-high school planning is coming up. You've had a lot of things going on over the summer. Counselors will start to meet with students throughout the fall to talk about their post-high school planning, talk about whether they're, thinking about college and where they are in the application process and search process. But don't wait, okay? If you're ready to rock and roll and talk to your counselor and apply to college, make an appointment with us, okay? We like at least 2 weeks ahead of time in terms of deadlines to be able to do the things that we need to do, get your transcripts ready, write your letter of recommendation and things like that, okay? Some of you may be asking about class rank. That's something that's asked on a lot of the college applications. We will have that typically around the end of the month. At the end of September, we will have that. Okay, so we don't have it yet. So stay tuned for that. Okay. For juniors, very important, also related to post-high school planning. We will be announcing this week PSAT sign up. That is the practice SAT, one of the college admissions tests that many schools require. Although more and more are not requiring it, especially due to COVID, it's still something that we recommend you take along with the ACT if you are a college-bound student. So the practice SAT, PSAT, will be coming up October 13th, okay? And we will be doing registrations starting later this week. Right now, the tentative deadline is going to be next Wednesday. The tentative deadline will be next Wednesday. And we're going to be starting either this Wednesday or Thursday. Look for an email. You and your parents will get it. We'll be coming into homerooms to announce it. That will be a strict deadline, okay? So when we announce that the deadline is the 22nd, September 22nd, that's going to be a hard deadline for that, okay? Don't come in after, ready to sign up. Come in by the 22nd. Actually, we're probably doing online registration. So more information will be coming out with regards to that. Okay. Anything else? Okay. So that's it for us right now. Also a heads up, through Tiger Links, we do have this page. It's the Student Services webpage. This is all one-stop shopping in terms of information that you're going to need through Student Services Office. All of the things that we post, from career guidance to colleges to mental health resources. As you can see in the middle top, you can request to
it's turned off all the way. My computer's turned off all the way.
Request to make an appointment with us. You can do that through Tiger Links as well. You can also email us. But as you can see on the left-hand side, we have college information, scholarship information. Importantly, on the right-hand side, we have a lot of self-care, mental health resources. And a link near the bottom just to get to the full-blown student services page that has a lot of information regarding some of the things that you see on here, as well as employment opportunities and a lot of other things like that. Okay, so welcome back. I hope everybody had a great summer, and take it away, whoever's next.
Yeah, and just to reiterate, this is a wonderful page. You should access it through Tiger Links. So students, when you log in through Tiger Links, hopefully that's how you're logging into your school Chromebook, there is an icon that says Student Services Bulletin. It's updated in real time, and that is where you can access this slide. So it's live and it's there for you 24/7. At this point,
I'll also add, Mr. Lonzak, it's anchored in Tiger Times as well. So if you want mom and dad to check some of that out, it's in there.
Great. Just a few other reminders, things that maybe are lesser known, but great resources for you in the main office. We are offering New York State DMV learner permit testing. So you can take this test as early as 2 months before you turn 16. That's the paper test that allows you to get your learner's permit to start the process to get a driver's license. If you're interested in that because you're 16 or 2 months beforehand, stop by the main office and see Miss Mason. She can give you more information on how that works, but it's free and it's able to be done right here on a computer in the main office. Now I will turn it over to Mr. Banis and Miss Boyer. They have some information regarding homecoming, specific information for seniors, a lot here. So take it away, Mr. Banis.
All right, hello everybody. Miss Boyer and I are the senior class advisors, and we are also the student council advisors. So pretty much anything that is related to school culture, you can come see us. First, seniors, right now, if you could quickly take out your phones, we'd like to sign you up for a Remind group. We know from last year going through this, a lot of people did not check their emails and they missed important deadlines when it came to prom and senior events for senior week and all these other deadlines that happen your senior year. So if you could text the number 81010 and then your actual text message is at AMTigers, AMTIGERS 22, that'll get you signed up. Your homeroom teachers also have this information as well, so you could get that from them. So that's 81010 is the phone number and at AMTigers. Could you click for me, please? There we go. Juniors and seniors, your homecoming shirt order forms are due tomorrow. These are personalized shirts, so we will not be ordering any extra. The cost is $20. You get to pick your name across the back with your graduation year. But we need those order forms tomorrow as a hard deadline because we need them for homecoming week, which is coming up in 2 weeks. Can you click for me? All right, so our annual homecoming celebration will be the week of September 27th to October 1st. Student Council has an entire week planned of different events. Every single day in lunch, we're going to be holding a chalk fest where you can go outside and decorate the front sidewalk. There will be a bunch of prizes. Homerooms will be competing against each other to decorate the doors with school spirit. We will be dressing up in different types of outfits throughout the course of the week, and we'll have different Amherst trivia questions every single day with daily winners being drawn at the end of every single day.
Can I jump in, Banis?
You can.
Okay, so I just want to say during homecoming week, I know a lot of you don't check your emails or things get lost in the emails, but we're going to be sending out those trivia games and the door decorating and the prize winners via email. So just make sure during that week you are checking your email if you want to participate. And next week, your student council officers will be picking the dress down days. So stay tuned for what those are going to be for teams. Go ahead.
Seniors in homeroom today, you should have received a yellow permission slip. We will be having our second annual senior sunrise the Tuesday of homecoming week, so Tuesday the 28th. This is just a order form for breakfast, which costs $5. And we also need your signature and parent signatures because of COVID protocols that you understand everything that's going on. This was a great event we did last year. The seniors really loved it, and we want to keep it going. So you can read all the information there. I'm limited for time, but the permission slips are due in a week and a half. So you do have a little bit more time to turn this in, but please make sure you get those in ASAP. You can bring those to me or Miss Boyer on the first floor.
Great.
Like I said, we're going to have Chalk Fest every day during lunch, so you can head outside of the front U and decorate. But on that Friday, we will have an ice cream truck, so please make sure you bring some cash. Tuesday morning, like I said, we'll have the senior sunrise. Wednesday evening at 6 o'clock, we're going to have a giant club fair out in the front U. So all clubs will have a table with information about all of their meetings. That will go from 6 to 7. But then at 7 o'clock, we're going to have a giant inflatable screen out on the front green where we'll be screening a movie. The movie is to be determined. We're going to have student council vote on that this week. But we will be having popcorn and concessions there. So Wednesday, we have that going on. Thursday after school, we're going to have teacher versus student trivia in the cafeteria to see if you are smarter than your teachers. And then Friday, the event we've all been waiting for is our homecoming football game against Williamsville South. That game will start at 7 p.m. But another nice thing that's happening this year is that you could click, Mr. Lonzak. One more. Every single varsity team will have a home game this week. So you're going to see these posters hung up later this week, but we are having a competition for who is the Amherst biggest fan. So take a selfie of yourself all decked out at any of these games and submit them to win some prizes. But every single varsity team is going to have a home game this week so we can celebrate all of our Tigers. And one last thing, and then I'm done. We won't be having our normal traditional pep rally because shoving a lot of people in one room is not something we're doing right now, but we will be having a live virtual pep rally before the football game during our 9th period classes. We will be announcing our homecoming court. We'll be announcing the homeroom decorators, the Chalk Fest winners, the Spirit Week participation, the Trivia winners, and Amherst's biggest fan. Now, this is what I need you all to listen to, especially if you're on a varsity sports team. What I need you to do is your team needs to come up with some sort of TikTok style dance or challenge. Please keep it safe and school appropriate. I don't want to see any crate challenges, please. But please submit those videos to me or Miss Boyer by the 24th. We're going to have all the sports teams have a TikTok style dance that we can all watch together as a class to get us ready for that football game on the 1st.
So more to follow on this, but lots of good information. Thank you, Mr. Banas. Thank you, Miss Boyer. We'll move it right along to our annual review of what's called DASA, or the Dignity for All Students Act. And for that, I'll turn it over to Ms. Kristofiak and Mrs. Wolf. Take it away.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Wolf. I'm a social worker here at the high school. Ms. Kristofiak is our new Dean of Students, so hopefully you will take some time and get to know her over the course of the next couple of weeks. DASA, Dignity for All Students Act, hopefully you've heard of it over the last couple of years. We talk about it every year. It was established in order to help make school a safe place, not only physically, but emotionally, to help prevent the bullying and harassment of students, not only on school property and at school functions, but even outside of school, online, and in any way that's going to make students feel uncomfortable coming to school. So even if events happen off campus that disrupts their ability to focus and concentrate during the day, that is covered under this. So hopefully this is not new information. Student use of social media and technology, the next slide, talks, this is signed off on, I believe, by your parents at the beginning of the year, so that you guys state that you understand the responsibility, especially now that you have school-issued Chromebooks, of the types of things you're going on to, the types of things you're saying, what you're doing. It all falls under the same school guidelines. So even if it's not a school website, the types of things you're doing and places you're going can still fall under all of the DASA regulations. Comprehensive approach to bullying prevention. Like I said, myself and Ms. Kristofiak are the DASA coordinators. So if you ever are concerned about yourself or somebody else, or you see something happening and you don't even know, I saw some kid in a blue sweatshirt, you can always come find one of us. We can definitely use the resources within the school building, other students, staff, to find out what was going on. But you can always definitely go talk to your teachers and things, other counselors and student services, so that we can help create that happy, fun school culture that everyone is looking for. So definitely there's a lot of programs we put into place, information for parents. There's the Tiger tip line that you or your family or anybody can use as well to anonymously share something. If you're worried about, I don't want to get involved, I don't want to be part of this, we can definitely help keep that anonymous. So the next slide. What does DASA mean for Amherst students? And I'm not going to read this. This is in the code of conduct in the planners that you guys get. So it very clearly says specifically, you know, what kind of protected categories there are that you cannot discriminate against, which include race, color, creed, national origin, religion, gender, sexual orientation, or disability. You know, there's no harassment, there's no intimidation, and those we'll cover next when we talk about, so the, like I said, this is just more of what's in the student handbook. So basically the three types of behaviors that DASA is going to cover and the types of bullying are physical, verbal, and social relational. Physical, we kind of, you know, it's what you see: hitting, slapping, shoving, kicking, tripping, taking someone's property, thinking it's funny, like, oh, I'm going to hide their phone, oh, I'm going to do something with their backpack, all those kind of things, throwing things that hit someone. All of anything physical is covered under DASA. There's no oops, I didn't mean to, or making it a joke. You know, none of that is tolerated. The next is the verbal bullying, and it sounds definitely like name calling, insults, remarks, repeated teasing, racist remarks or other harassment, threats or intimidation, whispering behind someone's backs, and even indirect bullying. So spreading a rumor, gossip, talking about someone indirectly, even if it gets back to the other person, that's still considered a form of bullying because you're perpetuating that negative emotional trauma that the student might go through. And so you cannot do any of the verbal bullying as well, whether it's online, verbally saying things, or in person. And then the last one is the social relationship bullying. This happens when you destroy or manipulate relationships, definitely sometimes turning people against other people. Oh, none of us are going to sit with them is a form of that, destroying someone's status within a peer group, reputations, humiliation, embarrassment, and intimidation. And that includes like the side eyes. Oh, I didn't do anything. I just looked at them. That is definitely a form of this as well as the gossiping, spreading rumors. So all of these things are covered, as well as then not just in person or here at school or on school grounds or a school function, but online. So whatever you post online, it also falls under DASA because it can still have an impact on a student's emotional well-being here in school. So the next slide, which talks about the digital citizenship and cyberbullying, is also a form of this. So please be aware, even if you think, well, I just posted and deleted it, someone takes a screenshot and starts sharing it, it's still tied back to you. So everything you put out there, always assume it's permanent, always assume it's going to be seen and found out. And if you didn't want it to be found out, then you probably shouldn't put it there to begin with. And then as far as how cases of bullying are handled at Amherst, you come see Ms. Kristofiak, myself, your counselor, a teacher, anybody, and we would investigate it definitely to get all the information, all the background and the facts. We're not looking to get people in trouble, but we definitely want to help people, to try and resolve any of the conflicts. It can go through then the code of conduct through the Dean of Students office when it comes to, discipline, as well as depending on the extent, if there's any legal things that would get Mr. Johnson involved, our resource officer, that could also be an issue. Repeated offenses, failure to comply with administrative directives are definitely taken into account. So hopefully, this is our first year back in a while. Everyone is hopefully motivated to have a great and fun school year and to make it happy for everybody. So please remember all of the DASA stuff, help support each other, help look out for one another, and have a great year. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Wolf. And for all of that code of conduct information, see your student handbook. It is in there for you. If you have any questions, let us know. I'll turn it over now to Ms. Kristofiak.
Hi, welcome back, everybody. And I just want to say in regards to that, please feel free to come to any of us to talk about what's going on. Please report it if you're seeing it. If it's a friend, send an email. You can go to Tiger Tip Line. You can click on that, or you can call that number. So we're here to listen and we're here to help. So going on to the health office, just so you know, it's in the front hallway on the first floor towards the front desk right by the front door. But remember, if you need to see the nurse, go check in with your teacher first and get a pass to go down there. And any dismissal through the nurse requires a parent phone call. Dress code. There are details and very specifically laid out guidelines inside of your student handbook. Please make sure that you take into account what it's asking you. If you're out of compliance, you'll be asked to change. We have clothing at from the nurse's office, from a friend, or something dropped off for you. But make sure you see an administrator with any questions you have. Reminder that there's no hats, no hoods up, do-rags, questionable language on what you're wearing, bare midriffs, and no visible underwear. So remember that respect is a two-way street, and that's why that code of conduct is put into place so that we can have respect from both adults and the students back and forth. So here's some lunch period reminders. You've seen me in the cafeteria talking about this. Make sure you're eating in your designated lunchroom, whether it's the cafe or the North Gym. Seating and masks are required to be followed. So seating charts, remain at the table you signed in at on Friday. If you're sitting at one of the big tables, make sure that you have one seat in between you and another person. Have a seat, no traveling from table to table, and your mask must be worn when not eating or drinking. Restroom use. Be sure that you have the pass from the adults supervising the cafeteria. There's only one set of bathrooms being used out of the cafeteria and one set for the North Gym. There will only be 2 girl passes and 2 boy passes. Vending machines will not be in use, and wandering is not an option. Attendance, make sure you're coming to school every day. We want you to be here and be on time. But if you are late or absent, make sure you have a parent call in or write a note within 3 days. Disciplinary consequences could happen if that note or call doesn't happen. Significant absences can result in denial of credit for your class. And you may not leave the building without an approved dismissal. This will result in significant discipline up to including suspension. So no leaving the building.
That's a big one for students on junior, senior privilege, which we'll get to in a second.
Absolutely. Electronics, cell phones and electronic use must be appropriate at all times. No recording, no video, and no photos of others. Phones, no phone calls or FaceTime conversations are permitted in hallways, classrooms, study halls, or the cafeteria. So those are just a big no-no. So be aware of and follow your teacher's cell phone policies. They have a right to say yes to use them and right to say no, you cannot use them. Always keep one ear open if you're listening to headphones in the hallway. And if you are asked to give up your cell phone because you're not following the policy, without question, you are to give that electronic device to that staff member.
Quick time check. I know we're looking up at the bell. We are going to extend this meeting till about 8:48 due to the delay. So homeroom teachers, please do not dismiss your students at this bell. We are going to go here till 8:48. So another 5 minutes, please. So when that bell rings, please remain seated. We're going to finish this up at 8:48.
All right. So the last part, I think, for me is the detention. So when rules are violated, one of the disciplinary consequences could be a detention, whether it's before school, after school, or during your lunch period. And teachers can also assign detention. But lunch detention can only be served during your assigned lunch period. Report directly to Mrs. Bennett, Mr. Robertson. Do not get your lunch first. Be on time. Failure to do so could result in added discipline, like another day. No phones or technology will be used. You must remain quiet, but you can do schoolwork or read. You can see myself, Mrs. Majewski, or Mr. Robinson, or Mrs. Bennett if you have any questions.
Yeah, please disregard that. We have just a few more things. Junior, senior privilege. Go ahead, Ms. Kristofiak.
All right, so for junior, senior privilege, all grades at or above 72%. We will be checking those every 10 weeks. Approval or denial letters will be sent home and to your homerooms. Can be revoked for grades, conduct, or at your parents' request. And there is no open campus privileges, so you cannot be roaming the campus. You have to be in a designated area under supervision.
And that would be the library, the cafeteria, or with the teacher at their approval. I'll cover this one really quick. We will be having fire drills and lockdown drills again this year. Be on the lookout for that and make sure that your teachers and you understand where to go specifically during fire drills. And as always, fire drills are quiet and orderly. Those will be starting up probably this week sometime. Again, for fire drills, teachers will go over their individual procedures with you. The same with lockdowns. We will have lockdown drills again this year. More to follow on that, but be aware that we will be having them. And the following here, just to wrap up, is related to extra policy curricular rules for sports, clubs, etc. Again, we are proud of all of the extracurriculars and the sports that we have here at the school, but in order to be a part of that, you need to realize that it is a privilege and there is a specific policy above and beyond our code of conduct to participate. We want our Tigers to be representing us at the highest of standards. So coaches and club advisors will go over this in more detail with you, but essentially, are you under this policy? The answer is yes, if you are in a club or a sport. If you violate one of these extracurricular policy rules or procedures, that could result in a detention, in a suspension from school, or a suspension from your club, sport, or activity. Again, if that happens, Ms. Kristofiak or I would meet with you about the specifics. I do want to jump ahead right to this here and understanding that the term student athlete, the first term in that is student. And in order to be a student athlete, you need to make sure that you are in good standing. So you need to be passing all of your classes. If you're not doing that, there are some procedures you'll need to follow in order to stay a part of your club or your sport. Number one, if you're failing one subject or have an incomplete in one subject, Mr. Wheaton or I will meet with you to go over the remediation procedure. You can stay eligible for that. However, you do need to make sure that you're showing that you are getting additional help at least once a week from that class that you are not passing. Where this really comes into play is if you are failing 2 or more subjects. So if you're failing 2 or more subjects at the end of a 5-week mark or a quarter report card, you will not be able to participate in that club or that sport. That means you would not be able to play in the game for at least 2 weeks until you go through a series of remediations to get your grades back up. And again, you would meet with Mr. Wheaton or myself on exactly how that works. But just please keep in mind that grades matter a tremendous amount for everybody, but especially to maintain that eligibility to play in a sport or to be a part of a club. Along with that, it also comes being drug, alcohol, and tobacco free. And that's 24/7, 365. So you need to make sure that if you are not participating in any illegal activities specifically related to drugs and alcohol. If you do, you will be suspended from your club or your activity. The first offense is a 25% suspension, in addition to any school discipline. The second offense is a 1-year, 12 calendar month suspension from all extracurriculars. We're hoping it doesn't get there. And if it gets to a third, you're done. You're not allowed to have any more extracurricular participation for any of your classes. So we covered that in record time. My final reminder to all of you students before we head to first period is to check your emails. Make sure your settings are set up correctly. If you don't like getting all of your Google Classroom notifications, you can turn those off to make sure that the most important emails come to you. But really, everybody should be checking their school email at least 2 times a day. We will be sending out a Q&A from today's meeting along with the recording and the slides so you can view them later in your email. And then one final reminder, if you have any outstanding textbooks that you still have from last year, we do need those back. So keep that in mind. So that was record time. If you have any questions, you can see us at any point in the school day. And at this moment, we are going to ask everybody to dismiss to first period. Have a good day.